What's up, bros? Today's a very exciting day because we're breaking the first NBA product of the 1920 NBA season. But before we start, let me remind all of you that this break is supported by Elite Card Sales. Elite Card Sales, your best source for the trading card supplies as well as football and basketball trading cards. The link is in the description. This is how the base card looks like. So the most important thing which we can see from this card is, of course, that the attendance for Charlotte Hornets sucks. Like it's even emptier than like New Jersey Devils arena, although it's hard to believe. And traditionally, I always like a little bit like hate this like big wide frame for hoops because it makes the card look cheap. But what I actually like a lot is very informative back of hoops card. So in addition to stats, there is like also a text and player information, college drafting, and so on and so forth. A lot of these high-end Panini products, they just have this text or just stats, like so. Hoops is one of the more informative, if not the most informative products. And it's also another advantage of hoops that players like John Hansen, like who I like honestly have never heard about, like makes like the set, so I can learn about these players. Because like this, all other high-end sets by Panini, there are like 100 players in the whole checklist. With hoops, it's usually close to 300. Cards on the checklist, which is always entertaining and get out of the way, cool looking like cartoonish insert, and they add this like volume 1920. So, and the first base card like got like a ball is like tall, but he's not even the tallest player in the league. It's like Taco Foss, who for some reason didn't make the cutoff for that product, so they included like some like completely like scrap players from Boston, like Lilliput Edwards, but not Taco Foss. So, and tribute insert of John Moran, the second overall pick. Actually, a really cool looking, like old school design. Here, like there's also a lot of white, but it kind of makes the card look attractive. Like so, really like this tribute design. Alan Crabb was declining in Brooklyn, but is now I think in Atlanta, so we'll see how it's like. Vince Carter, like for how many years he have been in the league? For 25. But what I should say, like and I think that's a purple parallel of Rudy Gay. And yeah, I'm not sure if he's a gay or not. Like I have asked like this question in many of my breaks, but it's still not clear to me if he is or he's not. Yeah. But last year I went to Knicks season opener against Atlanta, and you know what? The thing was that Vince Carter was the best player, like on the court. So there's so many scrubs in the league now that have like 45-year-old. Vince Carter looks like a superstar player. Nikola Vucevic. Oh yeah, and I think this is a blue parallel, which is exclusive to the Blasters. So purples are usually you can hit them in all products. And this is the card which a lot of us will be hunting from this product, and of course I would prefer like a parallel, but well, I'm not complaining. Zion Williamson rookie cards by far the best non-parallel card out of this product. So nice to hit it. And then Matisse Thybulle. D'Angelo Russell struggling mightily in Golden State, although I should say that GSW, they also had like some very bad luck. Oh, that's a cool looking insert of Derrick Jones Junior, like frequent flyers. So there is this kind of holographic photo here, like yeah, it's always some interesting inserts in hoops, like and Shaquille O'Neal tribute card. Yeah, this tribute like insert set would be a cool set to build on. George Hill, Steve Adams, I think the only Kiwi in the league right now, and rocky remembrance of Josh Richardson. I guess that's my that's my beautiful one-color jersey of. Because Panini has a lot of unused Rocky photo shirts, jerseys of veterans, and it would be like, and they need to use them somehow. They just put it into the product. Although, in my opinion, it's super lame to put the card, the jersey of non-game worn jersey of a veteran player into the product. And lights, camera, action. Yeah, great like photo, great photo as well, like of Durant, like throwing the ball. And yeah, this lights, camera, action has been one of my favorite insert throughout the hoops. And yeah, this Carson Edwards. I saw him playing in the Knicks season opener this year, so I tell you, this guy doesn't have any future in the league. He threw something like 10 threes. He like hit like one of them, I think. Then he missed a dunk, and it wasn't like even a difficult dunk, it's just one-on-one dunk. Oh, we're arriving now of Jackson Hayes. A lot of this like airplane themed like insert, like frequent flyers and like arriving now. So yeah, cool looking card. Romeo Langford, I think 14th or 15th overall pick. Yes. So this Carson Edwards, he missed the one-on-one dunk, so he ran away like against the basket and missed the dunk. And at the same time, like while like losers like Carson Edwards make this Panini sets, we have the situation where players for whom fans are like craving and chanting and like want to see them play, like Tech of France, don't make like hoop sets. So you would imagine that Panini will try to cater to the fans, but no, that's not the case. Oh, this is, I think, lights, camera, action, Prismo silver insert, like a really cool looking card of Nikola Jokic. This slightly fat Serbian superstar. And Jackson Hayes. Yeah, it was amazing. At the end of this Knicks season opener against Celtics, that there was like something like 10 10 minutes to go. The whole Madison Square Garden just started like chanting, "We want taco, we want taco," and finally, like something like 5 minutes before the end of the game, they let Taco Falls play. For some reason, the stupid coach like didn't allow him to play, and immediately Taco Fall came to play. He scored 2 dunks. That's like 2 dunks more than Carson Edwards, who like, was playing the whole game. And oh, that's a cool looking insert as well, like class of 2019. So it features the whole photo from the Rocky photo shoot. So yeah, so there's like Taco Fall is not there, but like this Carson Lilliput Edwards, I can see him here. Unfortunately, the card is a little bit damaged, but who cares? Chumo Keke, Demurray, Caro was also regressing on nets. Kevin Looney, Bismack Biyombo, Terrence Ferguson. He had like this one game where he scored 25 points last season, and then he went back to the oblivion. And Queen Cook, Blue Parallel, and Admiral Sheffield, Rocky and Julius Dr. Irving. And our second blaster starts with Clint Capella. Yeah, this hoops photography, it's pretty amazing. Look on these face expressions. Look how much pain here. Look on his like witty face. Like it's yeah, great looking. Great looking photography. Torrey Craig and DeAndre Jordan. I'm actually not a fan of DeAndre Jordan joining Nets because I think it will disturb the progress of Jared Allen, although I should say that the progress of Jared Allen has been rather slow. Oh yeah, here comes like Jared Allen. For instance, his offensive game is like simply terrible. Because like for instance, I went to the season opener against like Timberwolves. So it's 2 seconds until the end of the game. The game is tied 115-115. And Jared Allen shoots 2 shots. And I mean a free throw. And he misses both of them. Like God, my ass was like burning. It was burning so hard that I don't know how like didn't the whole Barclays Center like, went on fire. And then they lost in they lost the game in the overtime. Jordan Poole, Harrison Burns, Chris Paul. Yeah, it would be actually like pretty shocking if Chris Paul and get out of the way of Alonso Trier. Yeah, Chris Paul and Oklahoma City Thunder will make the playoff, while like Houston won't make the playoffs, because like this Houston's game is really not working. They got like 2 players who are not complementing each other at all, and that like so that's their losses to Brooklyn and Miami are not really surprising. And what do we get? Yeah, like a beautiful, like a nasty, like 4-color patch, like we always like pull from Panini products. Well, and if you're like cracking these blasters and you pull like jersey card like that, what you should understand that actually not the worst. Not the worst case, because most cards from like high-end Panini high-end product like National Treasures or Immaculate, they will also be one-color jerseys, except you need to pay like $500 or like this season even closer to $1,000 to break these boxes. And this is actually a really cool card, because that's a blue parallel of Ja Morant. So a great card. So the border is not perfect, but whatever. Mario Shiuk, DeAndre Hunter, national champion as a part of Virginia Cavaliers. Chris Middleton, De'Aaron Fox. Oh, and that's also a really good, really cool looking card. Frequent flyers with this hollow effect photo of LeBron James. Definitely a good card. Cody Martin. I never heard about him. And I suspect that I will also never hear about him in the future. Luke Kennard. He was a scrub during his rookie season, but somehow he's still like making this product, so it probably means that he's still in the league. So Damian Lillard had like great playoffs last year. Kristaps Porzingis. It's interesting that they got like a photo of him in the Dallas uniform. I wonder where. Because for sure, like, this product was designed well before the start of the season. Oh wow, that's like a cool looking, like, get out of the way shiny card of Durantula. Yeah, the only way that he's like in GSW uniform, but he's now with Brooklyn Nets. So like a really cool looking card. Iman Shumpert, Nick Claxton, Terry Rozier, Chris Dunn, Mo Bamba, Jabari Parker, and Myers Leonard. Never heard about him. Kyle Guy, like but why do they write Guy? He doesn't look like a gal, like, so it's clear that he's like a guy. So kind of a strange design by Panini. P.J. Washington Jr., Courtney Lee, Trey Young, Marvin Bagley, Emmanuel Mudiay. Purple of Eric Gordon, Marcus Lozada Silva, Kobe Bryant tribute, Otto Porter Jr., Ivica Zubac. DeAndre Ayton is actually now banned, I think, for 25 games for using illegal substances to prevent urinating. Probably was too lazy, like, to go to the restroom during the game, so I decided just like to take deurient or something like that. Rui Hashimura and Jared Culver. Gary Harris of Denver Nuggets. Domantas Sabonis, a powerful player, but he's much more limited in his skill than his father, Trailblazers legend, Arvydas Sabonis. Eric Paschal, Cam Reddish, Shai Gilgeous Alexander, kind of hot rookie from the last season, but not really. Chandler Parsons. Like last season, there are only two like really hot rookies, like Trae Young and Luka Doncic. Both had like a good start to this season, so the price of 18-19 wax is clearly raising. Kawhi Leonard, San Diego State alum, who is now playing close to his college. CJ McCollum, Malcolm Brogdon, a Rookie of the Year, I think, was it like 16-17? I think so, yeah. Avery Bradley, Malik Beasley, Jaylen Brown, Jusuf Nurkic. God, the attendance is poor here, like, no, yeah, in New Orleans. It's probably a photo after they traded Anthony Davis. But yeah, when with Anthony Davis, like, the team was pretty shitty. It's kind of like unlucky that they got hurt, that Zion got hurt, because the attendance in New Orleans must be terrible. Jimmy Butler now with Miami, and like you can see that this photo is not from Miami. There are no crowds like that at American Airlines Center, even like during the NBA Finals. And yeah, again, this like lame jersey where they're like circulating a Rocky Photoshop jersey of the veteran, like terrible, simply terrible. And oh, that's nice, like frequent flyers of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is like a pretty overhyped player in my opinion. Like, if for those of you who were watching Basketball World Cup in China this September, you could have seen that it's pretty easy to defend against him, and his skill set is like very limited. The shot is almost non-existent, and Jalen hands. What do you mean hands? Yeah, I see that he has like hands, so like like strange hands. Why to put hands? It's clear that he has hands. Terrence Mann, Quinn Cook, Danilo Gallinari, Colin Sexton, Terrence Ferguson, Zach Collins. I remember pulling a lot of his cards during the Rockies season, and he was like the textbook definition of a scrub. Was playing something like 4 minutes per game, and so on and so forth. And even this like 4 minutes probably like came because he sucked like the coach's dick or something like that. But he's still making this set, so he's in the league. It's pretty impressive. I never expected him to be in the league. Oh. And that's silver frequent flyers of Zach LaVine. Cool looking card. Nasir Little and Rui Hashimura, this Japanese Beninese combo player. Not the most common combination, but it makes it even more interesting. Pau Gasol, Evan Turner, and the purple rook of Chuma Okeke. Ja Morant, regular rook, already pulled his blue rook parallel. Paul George. And who is this New York Knick? God, he's probably smelly. Look on these like bushes at his like armpits, like. Mitchell Robinson, Kobe White tribute, Luka Doncic, had a good game against Lakers and LeBron, but LeBron showed like pretty convincingly who is the king and who is I would say like a prince, but a lot of people like LeBron hype boys might say like peasant or so. On the first card of our last blaster, yeah, you can enjoy the typical attendance at Barclays Center. PJ Tucker, Derek Favors, JJ Redick. Yeah, he can shoot, but what else can he do? Not much, let's be honest here. Ignas Brazdeikis. I think he made the Knicks opening day a roster as a healthy scratch. Derek White, Dennis Schroeder, German superstar. Justin Wright, Foreman, Sekou Doumbé. Who is he? Chris Dunn. I think he used to be with Minnesota. He was kind of like a hot rook. I think it was 16-17 when Ben Simmons was a non-playing rook, and Jaylen Brown and Chris Dunn were two other rooks. That's not the rook from Pelicans, which I would like to pull. So it's. But I think there is also the rook from the Pelicans who I would like to pull like right here at the border. So also kind of counts as like a Zion card. Rui Hashimura, Duranto attribute, Trey Young, Terry the Baldock Rozier, Kevin Knox, like I wonder if he will ever learn how to shoot. Tristan Thompson, and Alen Smilagic, yeah. Kyle Anderson, Ivica Zubac. I don't know why the Lakers didn't trust him, but I actually liked him, and Rocker remembers. Like now, at least, like the player who I like recognize, like De'Aaron Fox. So that's pretty nice. Kemba Walker, the national champion as a part of Connecticut Huskies in 2011. Actually, back then he couldn't shoot at all, but now it seemed that he developed into a very decent shooter. Yeah, like for this, I went to this Knicks season opener against Celtics, and he was shooting really well, like almost like I would say as well as Gordon Hayward, and I think Hayward is known to be a shooter well. I remember watching like Kemba during the Final Four in 2011, and for sure he couldn't shoot like twos. Now he's like shooting threes easily. So that's a pretty impressive progress. And the reason why I remember this March Madness of 2011 is that this is the only time when I won like the March Madness bracket, because everybody was betting something like Duke, like UNC, and I was the only one who bet UConn, although they wanted low ranked, but they were ranking something like 6th or 7th. They wanted like favorites. PJ Washington, Grant Williams, Antoine Davis, Justin Jackson, John Collins, Marvin Bagley III, the second overall pick from the last year, Rajon Rondo, Daniel Gafford, Patrick Beverly, Austin Rivers, Wendell Carter Jr., DeAndre Ayton, Nerlens Noel, PJ Washington, Bruno Fernando. Ooh! And we also put like Zion Williamson tribute rookie cards. So definitely a decent break today. So put like both base Zions, Caris LeVert, Georgia Dank, Willie Cauley-Stein, Bradley Beal, Josh Hart, Eric Pascal, and we finish with Cam Reddish. So overall, a really exciting break. So our jerseys are unfortunately a little bit lame, player worn, not game worn jerseys of veterans. But we put both Zion's regular rookie of the Zion, and then Zion Williamson tribute. And then we also put this very cool looking frequent flyers, I think new insert set this year, of King James, and this Blue Blaster exclusive parallel of Ja Morant. So overall a great break.